This past week's Xbox Store sale was actually pretty decent, with a lot of different discounts across some really high-rated titles. What I wanted to do today though was actually cover even more that you need to grab in this week's Xbox Store sale before they disappear in a few days' time, as the discounts here are actually pretty massive. Do remember though that I also give away a free Xbox game every single Wednesday on these sales videos. All you'd have to do is just leave a comment below and you're automatically entered. I am giving away a copy of Chronos: The New Dawn, so do make sure to enter as soon as possible. With that though, let's dive right into the sales that you need to grab as soon as possible. First up, and if you like RPGs that are massive, merciless, and just drenched in so much gothic sci-fi grandeur, then Rogue Trader is just pure Warhammer 40k at its very best. You basically assume the role of a captain, and it's your job to essentially master your very own destiny. The choices really do matter in this one though, as all of your companions will clash, and this is 40k, so morality doesn't exist, only survival and profit does. Combat also plays out in a sort of deep tactical turn-based fashion with lots of explosions of psychic energy and bolts of fire that lights up in the void. At £19.34 this week after a 55% discount, it's huge, heavy and brilliantly complex for a turn-based RPG. This is a must-play pickup for Warhammer fans, or if you just want to sink up multiple hours of your time into a deep spacefaring RPG. Sometimes you just need something a bit more bright and weird, and Slime Rancher is just joy in gelatinous form. In this one you play as Beatrix LeBeau and you're basically farming adorable bouncing slimes on a far off alien planet. It's equal parts relaxing and absurdly addictive, as you'll be vacuuming up little squishy creatures, feeding them and then selling their sort of slime based resources, as they say. The game looks like a Saturday morning cartoon that never ends, with so much pastel skies and cozy exploration that never punishes you for being a bit slow. It's the kind of title though that makes stress pretty much evaporate from your system, and for £4 it's practically a self-care in a video game form, and I absolutely love it. There's no drama here and no chaos, it's just you, a vacuum pack, and the happiest blobs I've ever seen in gaming. There is a reason why this game stands out for many within its crowd, and it's the perfect relaxation game for this Sunday. I wanted to highlight a couple of huge indie discounts for this week for games you may have not heard of before, and that's because they have incredibly positive reviews across Xbox and other platforms. First up, and if you love visually striking indie games, then Planet Alpha is an absolute must-play. This is essentially a side-scrolling platformer that features an alien world filled with tons of lush landscapes, breathtaking lighting effects, and mysterious creatures. You play as a stranded explorer who must traverse these dangerous environments though, alongside solving different puzzles and manipulating time just to survive. The platform mechanics are actually pretty fluid from what I've tried so far, and the world constantly revolves around you, making every level feel like a living painting. Planet Alpha really is a hidden gem on Xbox that deserves so much more attention, and at 80% off, this one is an absolute steal. Xuan Yuan Sword 7 blends ancient legend with slick modern action RPG combat. You basically play as Taishe Zhao, and I'm hoping I'm saying that right, and he's a warrior that's fighting through demons and destiny to protect his family. The storytelling in this one actually feels quite cinematic, and it's steeped in so much tradition but told with heart and humanity. Combat is very fast, fluid and surprisingly polished, and you're switching between different swordplay, magic and summon beast with effortless grace. The world also does feel pretty lived in as well, with loads of stuff like temples, forests and spirits that are rendered in some pretty gorgeous detail. It's not just about fighting, it's about faith, culture and the weight of responsibility. For £14.60 after 65% off, it's one of the most underrated action RPGs that's ever been on Xbox, and it's a true hidden gem from the East. LEGO Worlds is what happens when childhood imagination gets unlimited budget and code. Instead of building from a box or just playing through stories like other LEGO games out on the market, you instead sculpt entire worlds brick by brick. This can mean anything from deserts, castles, spaceships and more. Basically, you name it and you can make it. You can of course also explore some pre-made biomes that have been made by the creators alongside new bricks and creatures, or just drop a dragon into a pirate village because honestly, why not? The sandbox is vast and charming, and every moment feels like pure creativity, and that's why I love LEGO in general. For £3.74, it's an absurdly cheap ticket back to the childhood joy of spilling LEGO across your carpet and building something pretty ridiculous. LEGO Worlds has always been an unsung hero for me, especially with my kids, and is one that's kept them entertained for many hours. I love the Harry Potter universe, and if you want to dive into the wizarding world and get your fill of witchcraft and wizardry, then I highly recommend Hogwarts Legacy, the digital deluxe edition for this week. This is a staggering 80% off this week, and the base game alone for the standard version is actually never near this price, so it's actually a pretty astonishing deal. Hogwarts Legacy though, of course, is the massive open world RPG that really took the world by storm, as it lets you take on the role of a brand new student to Hogwarts, and you'll not only dive into a great story, but also discover some iconic places like Hogsmeade and the Forbidden Forest. There are so many reasons that I absolutely love this single player adventure, and that's because it's so meticulously detailed with everything that I love within this franchise. I know this one is actually available on Xbox Game Pass, as it did get added about a month ago now, but it's still worth owning, and it also supports Xbox Play Anywhere, so it's great if you have PC, handheld, or even a console. For just under 20 quid this week, you get a whole medieval life simulator, and it isn't just a simple game. If patience and creation are your real thing though, this one is endlessly rewarding in every way imaginable. Imagine starting with nothing but your hands, a few sticks, and the dream of founding a legacy. Medieval Dynasty takes you into the heart of the Middle Ages and lets you live out your entire life, from building your very first hut to leading a thriving village, and it's done so bloody well. This one is actually part survival sim, part builder, and part RPG, as you have to do stuff like crafting, farming, and diplomacy. The real beauty within it though does lie within the passage of time, as you can literally watch seasons change, families grow, and your settlement really come alive. It's relaxing one moment and really demanding the next, and I think that's why so many people, including myself, absolutely love this simulator, especially in 2025. Green Hell is a game that really doesn't hold your hand, and instead it really does throw you into the Amazon jungle and lets you fight for every single moment. This is a survival game that is stripped pretty bare. You have to do literally everything here to survive, so that means crafting your own shelter, treating infections, and battling madness as isolation really takes its toll. The jungle isn't a backdrop either, like others within the same genre, as it actually becomes your enemy as it remembers your mistakes. You'll do everything from scavenging, hunting, and just trying to keep your sanity as the rainforest closes in around you. Graphically, it is pretty stunning as well, as it recently got a Series X and S patch, and is easily one of the best looking survival games on Xbox to this day. At just under £6, it's a survival experience that few can match, and you won't just play it, you'll actually feel it crawling under your skin. You may be thinking though, what if Doom had a baby with a rhythm game? Well, you'd get BPM, known as bullets per minute, and it really answers that question with loads of bullets and bass. Every jump, reload, and shot syncs perfectly to an epic metal soundtrack, and I absolutely love these sort of rhythm style games. You're slaying demons to the beat, and when you're in the zone, it's just pure adrenaline as you're absolutely fixated on that soundtrack. The roguelike structure also keeps it unpredictable, rewarding mastery of both rhythm and reflexes, and the visual style just screams heavy metal at every moment, with all fiery reds and just gothic cathedrals. It is a punishing game for sure, but it's pretty addictive, and just learning how to navigate a few levels and get that under your belt is just so extremely rewarding. At £6 for something this creative is an utter bargain, and few games out there ever make you feel the music like this one does. Another little indie that goes under the radar is King of the Seas, and this one actually delivers a swashbuckling action RPG adventure set in a procedurally generated pirate world that's brimming with danger, treasure, and high seas combat. In this one, you're essentially being framed for your father's murder, and you're thrust into a sort of role of an outlaw captain determined to reclaim your name, and ultimately though, uncover the truth. With any RPG, you can of course customize your ship with various different weapons, skills, and hull upgrades, as we kind of expect, and navigate a reactive world filled with factions, naval patrols, and ever-changing sea conditions. From ship-to-ship battles to treasure hunting and trade, the game offers a satisfying loop of risk and rewards. It's rare to see some good pirate games these days, and at just under £4, it's a great time to raise the sails and command your very own pirate empire. Everspace 2 is easily one of my favourite indies of all time, and it's just pure adrenaline at every single moment as you pilot your ship around some of the most gorgeous space shots that I've ever seen. The combat in this one is also pretty buttery smooth, and it's full of dogfights that feel really cinematic at every single moment, and I still kind of have my jaw hitting the floor to this day. It also adds in some very deep ship customization alongside RPG style loot systems, and it also has a surprisingly heartfelt story, even though it might not be the best thing since sliced bread. For me, the sense of scale really blew my mind, as you have stuff like nebulae, derelict stations, glowing suns, and more, and it's a universe that never stops showing off its stunning beauty. £13.50 for something this polished is absurdly good value, and I do actually highly recommend it out of every single game on this list for this week. The original cyber horror legend was actually reborn a couple of years back now by Night Dive Studios, as System Shock really was a stunning remake that nailed everything that I loved about the 1994 classic Revolution. Again, in this one, you will awaken aboard the derelict Citadel Station, stalked by Shodan, one of gaming's most iconic villains. The atmosphere is thick with tension, as every corridor hums with menace and malfunction. It's equal parts exploration though, puzzle solving and sheer dread, and it's all wrapped up in a sort of immaculate retro-futuristic design. It still may not hold up to today's traditional standards, so I know many of you who probably never tried this one before might actually struggle with what to do, but the sound design alone will keep you on the edge of your seats at every single moment. £12.24 after a 65% discount is not the largest we've seen for this week, but for a newish title still, it's well worth grabbing if you get the chance. I have mentioned it before, but the Lonely Mountains IP is one of the best indie franchises that I've ever had my hands on. These games contain no enemies and no over-the-top moments. Instead, it's just you, your bike, and the mountain. Lonely Mountains Downhill actually strips away all the noise and finds perfection in its simplicity. You basically carve through the forests, jump over cliffs, and ride across waterfalls in a race to see who can get to the bottom as quickly as possible. The physics are really the main highlight though. The crashes can be pretty spectacular, and each run does really become a personal challenge at every single moment. The low poly visuals are something not to be scoffed at either, and they shouldn't put you off picking up this game, as it does make it pretty lovely to look at, and the devs also really nailed the soundscape as well. It's oddly relaxing but incredibly addictive, and for £6.30 it's the best calm but chaotic racer out on the marketplace. I did mention JUSANT in my latest sales video a few days back now, but I had to actually highlight it again simply because it's now left Xbox Game Pass and you need to grab it on sale as soon as possible. This one is an insane indie game and honestly one of my favourites of the past year, and it has you scaling some pretty jaw-dropping terrain with your little blue companion. It is a game that's also told without words, and to me it's one of the strongest indies that we've received on Xbox within the past few years. Definitely do grab this one as you can, as the discount now only lasts for a couple more days. So what game are you thinking of picking up in this week's Xbox Store sale? Do let me know down below and enter for a chance to win Chronos the New Dawn in next week's sales video. With that, check back next Wednesday, hit that like button if you enjoy videos like this, and subscribe for more Xbox content every single day. Whilst you're here though, and if you do want to check out one of my other videos here on the channel, why don't you check out the one on screen now. I recently covered the games that are actually coming to Xbox and Game Pass this week coming, and I tell you what, there's a lot of things to get excited about.